I think a lot of people are underestimating Lucilla and they're fixated on Lucy and Rebecca at the moment, but I think she's a lot better than both of them. And yes, I am biased, extremely biased. But even after putting my bias aside, I genuinely think she's gonna end up becoming one of the safest pulls for you in 3.4. And now before people start throwing Beswas at me, I'm not saying she's the strongest support ever released. She's not a Lene and she's not going to redefine the meta like Lene. But what I am saying is she has something that most supports don't, and that's options. And if you've played Wuthering Waves long enough, you'll notice that most supports are very specific. Heavy attack or basic attack, liberation, skill support or echo. But the problem lies that they are usually have a singular job and a singular team, and they're gonna perform their best while in those teams, and when you take them out of those teams, they don't perform that well. The exception to this would be Yuno and Augusta. But then the problem comes later, because DPS is going to fall off, and the team is going to fall off. And suddenly those supports are going to be benched, waiting for Kuro to just release another character that wants those buffs. But Lucilla on the other hand is different because she has two modes, and that's incredibly important. One side is interacting with Glacier Chafe, a negative status unit, and the other side is working with echo damage. Completely different archetypes. And that's what makes me think she's going to work really well. Because if history tells us one thing, main DPS is going to lose to time. Literally every single time. Look at Jinshi for example. While she at S6 does 2 million damage, Hiyuki at S0 does 1.2 million. You're literally hoping to win 4 50-50s to keep your main DPS relevant into patch 4.x or 5.x. And honestly, DPSs are going to get power creep because that's literally how gachas work, but supports are different, and more importantly, flexible supports are different. Utility is always going to beat raw damage, at least in Wua, and Lucilla falls in that category, but she's not broken or mandatory, but she can do more than one thing. People are focusing on the wrong part, by the way. It's not even the longevity that Lucilla brings to the table. It's literally doors she opens for you. Let's say you're a free-to-play player and you pulled for Hiyuki. That's one team covered. Kuro is going to release an echo DPS, and that's where the problem actually starts, because pulling that DPS is just half the battle. What if you've never worked with echo damage people ever? What if you don't have a singular unit that has ever interacted with echo damage? Well, now if you got Lucilla, you already have somebody to run with, and that is incredible because that actually solves a lot of problems. You're pulling her once and you have two different archetypes that have just opened the doors in your account. And today she may be supporting Hiyuki because Hiyuki is extremely strong right now, but then she's going to be support an echo damage carry, and then a year from now there's going to be a new Glacier Chafe unit and she can run with that. Will she be the best in SWAT in all of those teams? Probably not, but at least because we have a lack of support alternatives at the moment, it is a very good option. She'll remain really strong as at least one of the people that you can put in the team, and that is the difference. While most supports are waiting for a new DPS, Lucilla is literally waiting for archetypes to change. She's waiting for the next negative status train or the next echo train, and a lot of people are trying to get the roster to stretch as far as possible, and that is why Lene and Mornier were so important. And I think that's also the reason why Lucilla is actually going to be strong in that regard, because she was also cover more ground than what most other supports cover. And having a support that can slot in two very different teams doesn't mean you immediately now have to skip an echo character because you're missing pieces around them, or a Glacier Chief character because you're missing pieces around them. She's also going to be as good as Choryun that everyone's already talked about, and that's value, and that's flexibility. That's literally progression for your account. She's still not stronger than Lene. Lene literally changed what you expect out of a support. She's on a league of her own. But Lucilla, she will literally make your account more valuable. And while her damage numbers are not going to be up there, and her animation, some people can say that it doesn't look as great or flashy as some of the other ones we've been getting, she is still a very strong unit. But maybe I'm completely wrong and Kuro just releases 3 supports that make her completely obsolete. But if I were to bet on a character that people can use in their accounts to cover many different archetypes and be a really flexible support, I think Lucilla is one of those, and she's going to fight the power creep train because for one, she's a support and supports are incredibly valuable, and for two, the fact that she's working with archetypes and not just damage dealers is also insane. So I think that's why she's a really smart pull at the moment. Not because she's the strongest, she gives you more ways to play the game and to pull on units that you really like that you would have had no supports for.